Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for being here today. I'm Noraida Negron. I'm the Public Information Manager for the City of Laredo, and we're here to address an urgent issue that is affecting families all nationwide, but also right here in our community. We're here to address an urgent issue affecting families in Laredo and Webb County, which is the federal government shutdown and its impact on food security. Today, the City of Laredo, in partnership with the South Texas Food Bank and also the Laredo Regional Food Bank, they're launching a Feed the Need Laredo food drive. It is a citywide effort to collect non-perishable food items for families in need. Now, this initiative ensures that no child or family in our community goes hungry during this difficult time. But before we start and continue with all of our special guests, I would like to introduce some of them that are here with us today. First and foremost is the Mayor of the City of Laredo, the Honorable Dr. Victor Treviño, and his wife, Ms. Rosa Marquez de Treviño. Also with us, U.S. Representative from Texas, District 28, the Honorable Congressman Henry Cuellar. Representing Webb County Sheriff, the Honorable Martin Cuellar, is Captain Carlos Camarillo. Representing Laredo Independent School District is the Interim Superintendent, Mr. Guillermo Pro. Representing United Independent School District is Hector Perez, Assistant Superintendent of Technology. Representing our city is our Assistant City Manager, Mr. Ramon Chavez. Our City Secretary, Mr. Mario Maldonado. Our Community Development Director, Ms. Tina Rodriguez. Our Laredo Fire Department Chief, Guillermo Hurd. Health Department Director, Dr. Richard Chamberlain. And our Police Department Chief, Miguel Rodriguez Jr. And we also want to acknowledge that also Ms. Alma Bubel is here from CEO South Texas Food Bank. Thank you so much. Please help me welcome our Mayor, Dr. Victor Treviño, who will speak a little bit more about the city's initiative and the urgent need to support our local families.
Thank you and good morning. Dr. Victor Treviño, Mayor for the City of Laredo. I called this press conference as I'm joined by Congressman Cuellar to address to the public for the first time in history. We're seeing thousands of families in our community on the verge of facing food insecurity at a level we have not seen before. Unfortunately, because Laredo has the highest pediatric population per capita in the nation, we're going to see a disproportionately higher impact on our youth population. And to understand the extent of the problem, almost a third of our community are SNAP-eligible individuals, which means that around 66,000 people will lose their primary means of buying groceries tomorrow. I do want people to understand that SNAP benefits are based on individual and household incomes. So most of the people receiving these benefits are children from working families and elderly people with fixed incomes that are having to make a choice between paying rent or buying food. This is a sad reality, is that I've talked to several families who plan to supplement their meals with whatever they can find. And being that in this Halloween era, which is not likely to be a nutritious replacement. The other problem we're experiencing is that we are looking at our food banks that are seeing growing lines due to economic impact of the federal shutdown. We're expecting that with the loss of SNAP benefits tomorrow, and we're preparing for an evolving food crisis that will start and progressively get worse with every day that the government shut down and these food benefits are not available. As an initial step, City of Laredo will be partnering with the local food banks and assisting in collection of donations from the public. These collections will be sent to the food banks to help with Laredo food inventories. We will also be monitoring the situation day by day through our school districts, medical facilities, and partner agencies to see how the loss of benefits impacts our community. Depending on how these converging events impact our community, additional measures may be needed, which may also include declaration of emergency to implement a larger scale of programs and requests from the state. I'm asking the community to please help whenever you can. Open your hearts and humanity to help our neighbors, family members, and other local fellow Laredons. I understand that many of you are already tightening your budgets because of the current economic climate. But please know and understand that children will be going to school hungry and going to sleep hungry, with their only means of being what they eat is at school during the school day. This is really what we're seeing in our community, and as a city, we'll be doing everything that we can to support the collections and donations, because there's no reason why families, and especially children, should go hungry in our community. So we will feed the need together and as a united community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. I also wanted to acknowledge that the Laredo Regional Food Bank is also here. So Ms. Linda Saldivar, thank you so much for being with us as well. Next, we welcome Congressman Henry Cuellar, who will provide an insight on the federal perspective regarding the shutdown.
Thank you, Nora, very much. Mayor, I want to say thank you for your leadership. When they were cutting the funds for the Holden Institute, you were there, you and I were working on that, and I really want to say thank you because you always take the lead on the issues. And now that we're facing this particular situation, you've taken the lead. So to you and the city, all of the city and the county, all of y'all, I want to say thank you for what y'all do. You know, it's interesting, and I will, tomorrow will be a day, and I would ask you if you want copies of some handouts that I have. One is the SNAP numbers that will be affecting us, so I would ask you to, if you want a copy of that, it not only has Webb County, but it also have our surrounding areas, Zapata, Duval, the areas. And so I would ask you to do this, to take a look at this. And then the other one is the ACA. As a doctor, I think you know what that means. 133,000 people will see their premiums, and tomorrow they'll be able to open enrollment and look at it. You know, when you double the amount of premiums on 133,000, which means that if you're a doctor or a clinic or a hospital here, you're going to see that some people are not going to be able to pay the premiums, especially with tariffs raising prices up, and they're going to give up their insurance and then end up at emergency hospitals, and that means doctors lose people with insurance, hospitals lose people with insurance, clinics lose people with insurance, but more importantly, the people lose this. In Washington, the shutdown is over one thing: healthcare. The last time we had a shutdown in 2019, it was over the border wall. This time, they did something very differently. They passed the big, beautiful bill that added $46.5 billion so they wouldn't be in this situation. And so they added $46.5 billion for a border wall. And last time it was a border wall, I think our reason is more noble, which is healthcare, and especially 133,000 people that would lose their healthcare. Now, there are people that keep bringing up false narratives that healthcare, SNAP, illegals. Well, you know, back in 1996, President Clinton and Newt Gingrich, in a bipartisan way, they said people are not going to get Medicaid, Medicare if you're illegal. I have a Border Patrol friend of mine, I won't mention his name, I've been wanting to mention his name, but he sells insurance. And he says, I'm a Border Patrol agent, and we asked for Social Security. He says, Henry, I'm not signed up an illegal or undocumented alien on it. It's a false narrative. And in July, when they passed their big, beautiful / ugly bill, depending on your perspective, they repeated the law again. And they put out a press release saying illegals, undocumented aliens cannot get health care. No health care, no Medicare, none of that. So they repeated the law. And if they want to repeat it again, they can repeat it for the third time. I don't care. I mean, let's do it again to give people health care on that. So I say that, and I would ask you to look at the ACA, health care, and I would ask you to look at the SNAP and see how that would affect people in our area. Now, on the House side, the Senate's been doing some work over there, or trying to do some work. On the House side, they've canceled votes for 5 weeks, and we'll find out later on if they cancel votes for 6 weeks. The last time we had votes was on September 19th. Imagine if you didn't show up for work for 6 weeks, what would happen? And that's what's happened in the House. We can come up with another proposal. We can pass an appropriation bill. We can do certain things if we show up to work. And as you know, I want people to know this, and this is why I keep repeating this. I have given up my paycheck. And I wish other members of Congress, they did ask the top Republican, and he said, I'm working. He is having press conferences in the House. But I think if more people would give up their paycheck, so the 15,000 employees I have, if they don't get paid, I'm not going to get paid. If they gave up their paycheck and show up in Washington and get to work, I bet we could solve this very easily. When this gets solved, you're going to see there's no magical solution. It's going to be worked out. And more, I don't want to get political, but more and more Republicans, 13 of them sent a letter saying, hey, we got to do something about this healthcare subsidies because it's going to affect, especially on the border in South Texas. So I would ask you to take a look at this. Now, the other thing, as I mentioned on SNAP, I would say this. A couple things have happened, and this is important to note. First of all, back in October, we're still in October, but in mid-October, we sent the letter to the Secretary of Ag and said, appropriations, we added 5.5, maybe $6 billion. There's a contingency fund of $6 billion there. Use that fund so we don't run out of SNAP funding. Guess what? They wrote us a letter and said, no, we're not going to do that. So they had an opportunity to use a contingency fund of 5.6. In July, with a big, beautiful / ugly bill, they cut, according to the CBO, $186 billion to SNAP. So, contingency fund available. They don't want to use it. We were just talking about, Anna, the state can use some state dollars. They got a rainy day fund there, and other places they can use some funds. So I'll stand with Richard Raymond and work with them to urge our state to do that. But in July, they passed a bill that cuts $186 billion according to the CBO, Congressional Budget Office. Number two. Number three, can't find money, right, for SNAP. Well, they did a bailout for Argentina, about $40 billion. Why Argentina? We don't know. But Argentina, $40 billion. So we're able to find some money out there for Argentina. And I represent a lot of rural areas, and our cattle people, anybody raises cattle here? The cattle people are not happy because, one, you're bailing them out, and they're suffering because of tariffs, their fertilizers and other things have been rising. But on top of that, they get $40 billion they give $40 billion to Argentina, and then they allow, by 4 times, the amount of meat imports from Argentina coming to the United States. So all these things are coming in. So while our cattle people are suffering, our folks are suffering through SNAP and all this. They're allowing more imports from Argentina. They send over $200 million of meat into the U.S., and we only send $2 million of meats into Argentina, and they got tariffs on those goods on that. So I give you that big picture as we talk about SNAP. As I mentioned, SNAP has a lot of people that depend on this. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, it's very easy. They can work this out very easily. They can use a contingency fund. They can find the money. We can do that. But first thing you got to do is you got to show up to work and not go on vacation for 5 weeks, and probably next week they'll cancel again. I still fly up there because my job is over there. I'll fly up there, and I still have some of the meetings. I met with some people from Laredo and higher ed and education and other folks up there. But as the mayor said, it has an impact in our community. I can go the numbers, Atascosa, Guadalupe, Bexar County, but I'll go into the area here. Duval has about almost 2,800 people, or 29% of the county, that depend on SNAP. That's a little bit over $5.5 million that they get. And remember, SNAP, anybody knows how much a SNAP recipient gets a day? A lot of people have this thing, it's illegals, undocumented aliens, and that they get all this. Anybody know what they get? Anybody want to guess? $5.61 a day. Now, how many of y'all can survive on $5.02 per person a day, at least in Duval County? In Jim Hogg, I was talking to the county judge yesterday, and he's got 1,200 people, or 27% of the population. They get about $2.2 million. $4.91 is what they get in that area. McMullen has about 14% of the population. Stark County has about 28% of the population, 19,000 plus. Zapata has 3,800, a little bit over 3,800 people, or 28% of the county, or $7.7 million. They get about $5.60 per individual. Going into Webb County, as the mayor said, over 65,000 people in Webb County, or 24% of the population, depend on SNAP. That's $133 million that comes in. Stores and other places that depend on the groceries that depend on this. And that is $133 million impact, or $5.61. So I'll ask the question again. How many can survive on $5.61 a day? How much is a Happy Meal now? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Mike Morosco, we always say we have on it. So this is what we're looking at right now. It can be solved. So to conclude, I'll follow what the mayor said. I want to thank the food banks for what they do. We had a town hall meeting. We had the Laredo regional folks on that. We had San Antonio. We had other folks, and we had over 5,000 people because they were very concerned about SNAP. Very concerned about SNAP. But one of the things that we got was that there's a lot of people that are coming out from the community, not only the food banks, but also, you got private sectors, the city of Laredo and other folks who are coming together as a community. So we ask everybody to put together, the resources, and let's help the folks that need the assistance at this time. That's what makes Laredo different, is when things get difficult, we all come together as a unit. So I want to thank the mayor for putting this together, and I want to thank each of y'all very much. I see Mr. Pro there, and we've been following each other. Where are you going to be at tomorrow? I'll be at the Dia de los Muertos, and then I got a birthday party for a friend of mine But want to thank you also, and Veronica, my classmate, and also I mentioned that because they get millions of dollars from federal dollars for school lunches. Their school lunches are federal dollars on that. And as the mayor said, those school lunches, many a times, is what we see on it. So you want to add something to school lunches?
Yes, Dr. Cuellar, I just want to add that we provide breakfast, lunch, and supper for our students, and supper is available for any school-age children. It doesn't matter if you're a student or not.
You come over here and say that. Mayor, sorry, I hate to change. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Good morning.
But I gotta say, I learned something when I was principal at Martin High School. We were there at a classmate, and he was telling me about a few, and one particular student that was sleeping in his car. But he was there in the morning. He graduated, but he was telling me what they would do to kids that sleep in their cars and the work that they do there at LISD. So I just want to say thank you, because I never forgot that graduation and what you told me about what you do. But let's talk about school lunches. School lunches are very key.
Thank you, Dr. Cuellar, and thank you, everybody. I just wanted to mention that what we do at LISD, and of course, as part of our mission to help our community, we do offer breakfast and lunch for our students, but we have a dinner, and the dinner is right after school. And what many people don't know is that dinner is completely free. As long as you're school-aged, between 5 and 19 years old, you can come to the school and pick up a lunch. It's free, a dinner, and it's free. And it's a very, very good way for you not to worry about those groceries for your kids. So send your kids to our schools. Please make sure that you come. You're gonna have a warm supper. You're gonna have inviting people that are smiling, that are there to provide the help that we need. We are partnering with everybody in this room, and we're making sure that we do our part as educators, not only to educate our kids, to provide them opportunities to take positions of honor and responsibility in the community, but we are ensuring that our kids are not prepared for something. We're preparing them for anything. Okay, so please, parents, you've got the free suppers at our schools. Please come by. We'll receive you, and we will take care of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much. And on the school lunches is something that we've highlighted throughout the districts, because the school districts here, literally in Laredo, UISD, LISD, Web Consolidated, get literally hundreds of millions of dollars when you look at the surrounding area on that.
I would like to add something to that.
Okay, let's have both food banks come up.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
Well, on school, after school lunch, also the South Texas Food Bank has areas throughout the community and community centers that we also provide.
You want to come up here, so,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean. But, and again, we're all talking about our children and their hunger and their health. We also, at the food bank, have after-school programs. They're throughout the community. I can't list them right now. I can't tell you off the top of my head, but they can go to our website and look. And, we're open the 52 weeks a year unless the site is closed. So during holidays, that maybe, and I don't know if they can, the schools are still providing meals for them, but we are open as long as the site is open, and not only in this county, but Stark County, Jim Hop County, and we're moving up to the west, with opening sites. That's all I wanted to say. And now that I'm up here, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is there any funding in the local level? We're working with the state, but at the local level for the food banks to be able to purchase product. Just, within the last 2 weeks, the food banks, through fundraising and stuff like that, we've purchased over $500,000 of food just to maintain the flow coming into our, food bank and asking for food assistance. So I ask you, and I will be talking to the judge later on, if there's anything within the city as emergency fund that that there could help, the food banks, just to, with the huge impact of, so many things going on. We had our boiled water in El Cenizo, Rio Bravo earlier this week. Now we have the SNAP, and now we have, the furlough employees.
Yes. And thank you very much for that question. We'll be talking to the city manager to see about those funds, but I'd like to have Chief Hurd come up and say a couple of words also.
Where's the chief? Where's the
anytime you want to go visit the fire station, you're more than welcome to. I know it's a fun ride at our fire stations. So, Guillermo Hurd, Fire Chief, Emergency Management Coordinator for the City of Laredo. So first of all, I wanted to thank the mayor, the congressman, city council, and our local partners, the school districts, USD, LASD, Laredo College. When we have needs like this, I quickly call and tell you, I don't know the plan yet, it's developing, and right away you always go, we're here to help. And that's great. That's what we need to do as a community. And for the food banks specifically for this one, we're here to help. That's our job. So I'm in charge of the Emergency Operations Center. So our job right now is to make sure that we assess the needs that are needed for the community. Our role in this right now is going to help with food collection. We spoke to both food banks. We've had some meetings. We've been speaking to them, and they said they need products right now. They're running low on it. There's a lot of community members that are already approaching us, and they're already ready to help. So we're going to be one of the sites. We're going to have one site right now to where the community can go and drop off. We're already planning other sites for the following weeks. So what we do is plan one. We're gonna reassess the following week to see how we did. If there's any other needs, speaking to the food banks, and then we'll expand from there. There's also been asking about volunteers. As of right now, we don't need any volunteers. We might need volunteers. We will put it up on our social media page. If volunteers are needed for collection, we will advise. I don't want to speak specifically with the food banks, but I know you all mentioned if there's a need for volunteers. I know in their websites you can go to those, and there's a way that you can sign up to volunteer specifically.
We'll send you all our students for community hours. You got us.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's what Laredo needs. Laredo needs to come together, and there's a lot of people being affected by this. People that you might not think they are being affected by this. This is a unified response. Ours is a all hazards preparedness framework that we use. Food security is treated like any other public health or safety issue. We're doing the logistical support, as I mentioned, and in short, no family should face hunger alone, and the city stands united in order for us to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. UISD wanted to say a few words too? Yes, go ahead. You all are partners in all of this, of course.
Yes. Good morning. On behalf of Dr. Cruz and our Board of Trustees, I want to assure our parents and our public that UISD will continue feeding our kids. We provide a total of 22,000 breakfasts, 31,500 lunches, and we also provide supper in most of our schools. We focus mainly on after-school programs and our Century Learning Centers for security reasons, right? We provided for our students about 3,600 suppers. So I want to assure the community that our school district will continue feeding our kids. It's extremely important that our children are fed daily because, for their health and for their learning process, for the growing process, that is important to our districts. I just want to assure our community that we will continue our efforts in feeding our kids. Thank you.
And really, this shows how a community comes together when everyone is in need, and this is beautiful to see. So I really want to thank everyone for being here and just speaking about what is at hand and what's in front of us at the moment. I just want to reiterate, and you'll see you have the graphics there on your screen. Remember, Saturday, which is tomorrow, November 1st, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., we will be at the Laredo Fire Administration Center on Del Mar. Bring non-perishable food items. Donate also via the QR code. You can also volunteer to help sort donations at the food banks. They need your help too. So together, again, we can feed the need, Laredo, and support our neighbors in need. Thank you all for being here. This will conclude the press conference for all the media. Everyone's available for interviews. Thank you so much.